purpose of this program is to point out and evaluate the key characteristics that you should consider when procuring a double-action semi-automatic pistol. This video is designed to serve as a guide for agencies and individuals interested in purchasing such handguns. The terms double action and single action refer to the action of the trigger. On a single action automatic, the trigger performs only one function, the release of the hammer or striker. On a double action automatic, the trigger performs two functions. It brings the hammer to the full cock position and then releases it. The term trigger cocking is a good descriptive term of how a double action trigger functions. By presenting information about the various factors involved in choosing a firearm, we hope to help our viewers make an informed choice. Which firearm is best? The answer to that question depends on many variables, such as the use, constraints, and performance levels that are acceptable to the purchaser. The fact is, what is best for you or your agency may not be best for someone else or another agency. We recommend that you take a systematic approach by writing down all of the characteristics you desire in your double-action automatic. Start with the chambering, weighing the pros and cons of each cartridge. Then move to the safety operating systems and do the same. Since not all chamberings are available in all operating systems, it may be necessary to change the caliber of choice if the operating system is deemed more important. After examining the chambering and operating systems, look at the remaining choices and their respective characteristics. Once you have weighed all of the factors, including cost, the best choice for you will become evident. Since new models and variations are constantly being introduced, we've restricted our coverage to those pistols that are in actual production or that are known to be scheduled for production in the immediate future. Unavoidably, some makes and models were not included because they do not have a significant market presence. We've also chosen to limit coverage to pistols chambered for the 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 10mm, and 45 ACP rounds. The marketplace has clearly indicated that the double-action system, or a closely related unique trigger system, is the trend for the foreseeable future. Therefore, our coverage is further limited to the double-action autos and such unique trigger systems as the Heckler & Koch P7 and the Glocks. Many factors have been taken into consideration in evaluating each weapon series. Chambering is sometimes the only major difference from one model or manufacturer to the next. Therefore, you must be aware of the various characteristics of the four chamberings under discussion. This will enable you to make an informed decision on which weapon best suits your needs. The 9mm Parabellum cartridge. Each type of ammunition has its own pros and cons. For the 9mm Parabellum, the advantages are that it has the smallest size and weight of the four chamberings discussed. This allows for its use in the smallest, lightest, and most compact pistols. It also allows for the largest magazine capacity and the lowest and most easily controlled recoil. The 9mm is used in the widest variety of guns and with the largest variety of operating systems. This cartridge size has the widest selection and availability of ammunition, including high-velocity plus P loads. The 9mm Parabellum has a flat trajectory and is available in a wide variety of SMGs and carbines. The disadvantages of this cartridge include its tendency to overpenetrate and become ineffective with full metal jacket bullets. The 9mm is dependent on bullet expansion to give a sufficiently large permanent wound cavity for incapacitation. A too quick bullet expansion can result in insufficient penetration for incapacitation. This round has much less energy than the 10mm. The 40 Smith & Wesson. The advantages of this cartridge include it is available in the 9mm size frame handguns. It allows for a larger magazine capacity than most 10mm or 45s. Even so, it still has the general ballistics of the FBI 10mm or 45 ACP round, typically 950 to 975 feet per second for the 180 grain hollow point. The 40 S&W has a wider and heavier bullet than a 9mm. Therefore, it is not as dependent on expansion to achieve a large permanent wound channel. The recoil from the 40 S&W is relatively mild, and this round allows for a smaller grip than the 10mm and 45 ACP in large capacity guns. The disadvantages of the 40 Smith & Wesson include it has a lower magazine capacity than the 9mm and less energy than the 10mm full loads. The 40 S&W bullet weighs less than the 45 ACP load and has a smaller diameter. At the present, there is only a small variety of loads and only a small selection of pistols that are chambered for this cartridge. Some observers expect this situation to change rapidly. The 40 S&W is believed by some to be the police round of the future. The 40 S&W is designed as a compromise cartridge. It approaches 45 ACP effectiveness in 9mm size guns and a magazine capacity somewhere in between the 9mm and the 45 ACP. The 10mm auto cartridge. The advantages of the 10mm auto cartridge include it has the highest power of any cartridge suitable for use in normal-sized auto pistols. In fact, the 10mm full load has more energy at 100 yards than the 45 ACP has at the muzzle. It has the flattest trajectory, the potentially best stopping power, and the best potential for armor-piercing bullets. As with the 40 S&W, this wider and heavier bullet is not as dependent on expansion as the 9mm to achieve a large wound channel and penetration. This cartridge offers two levels of performance. One is the same as the 40 Smith & Wesson. Another lies between the .357 and .41 Magnum revolver cartridges. The 10mm auto is the most suitable for use in hunting up to medium-sized game, such as deer or wild pig. It also allows for a slightly larger magazine capacity than the 45 ACP. The disadvantages include a heavy recoil and muzzle blast with the heaviest loads. The 10mm cartridge requires a large 45 size frame and a relatively heavy slide. No compact version is available or is likely to become available. It allows for a smaller magazine capacity than most 9mm and 40 Smith & Wesson pistols. The distribution and selection of ammunition is not as good as the 9mm or 45 cartridge. There is currently only a small selection of handguns available that can chamber this round, and the high-pressure loads are tough on the guns. The 10mm auto is unavailable in submachine guns at this time, except for the H&K MP5. The 45 ACP cartridge. The advantages of the 45 ACP cartridge include it is the only auto cartridge that offers good stopping power with full jacketed bullets. It is the least dependent of all auto cartridges on bullet expansion. Recoil for this cartridge is relatively mild. There is a wide distribution and selection of this type of ammunition. A single column magazine allows for a smaller grip than the high-capacity 9mm and 40 Smith & Wesson guns. With the extremely powerful plus P loads, this cartridge approaches the ballistic performance of the hotter 10mm loads. The 45 ACP rates high in both reputation and intimidation factors. It has a mild recoil, muzzle blast, and muzzle flash with standard loads. A compact version is available. The 45 ACP has three main disadvantages. It has the lowest magazine capacity, a limited selection of guns, and it requires a large size frame. Safety and operating systems. The weapons being evaluated fall into 6 main categories of operating systems. Each operating system has its own unique advantages and disadvantages. The selection of the best operating system is a personal choice. Ultimately, this choice is largely dependent on the weapon's intended use and the training of its user. The slide-mounted hammer dropping safety. This is the classic or original safety system for double-action autos. It offers 2 reasonable modes of carry: fully loaded with safety on, or fully loaded with safety off, with the hammer down in both cases. The FBI, U.S. Marine Corps, LAPD, and the Smith & Wesson Academy recommend that the hammer drop safety only be used as a hammer lowering device, and that the pistol be carried with the safety off. Many uniformed police prefer to carry this type of pistol with the safety engaged. In case the pistol is snatched, an officer may then have a better chance of survival. The safety will delay the use of the snatched pistol in many cases. Some agencies are utilizing holsters with built-in anti-snatch mechanisms to help prevent such incidents. Another advantage of this type of system is that the pistol may be loaded and unloaded with the safety engaged at all times and without ever touching the trigger. The major disadvantage to this system is that the safety can be inadvertently engaged during carry or when clearing a malfunction. The subsequent shooting delay could be potentially fatal. The first shot is fired by a long, hard double-action pull. Subsequent shots have a single-action trigger pull. If the safety is used, the system requires an extra step to fire. The standard offerings by Smith & Wesson, Ruger, and Beretta all use this system. The decocking lever with no manual safety. This system is frame-mounted on the Sig Sauer, Smith & Wesson, and Colt. It is slide-mounted on the Beretta and Ruger. This system offers only one reasonable mode of carry: fully loaded, hammer down. The simplicity of this system is its greatest advantage. If the pistol is loaded, it will go off when the trigger is pulled. There is no manual safety that could accidentally engage. The pistol is trim without any safety levers. The disadvantages are there is no delay in shooting if the pistol is snatched. The pistol is cocked and unlocked momentarily in the loading manual of arms. The first shot is double action, and the subsequent shots are single action, requiring a transition. The frame-mounted safety that locks the hammer cocked or down. This system is currently available primarily on the Taurus PT92AF series, the CZ75, and clones such as the Springfield Armory P9. It offers three different reasonable modes of carry: fully loaded, hammer down, safety on; fully loaded, hammer down, safety off; and fully loaded, hammer cocked, safety on. 2 steps are required to fire when the safety is engaged. This is the favored system for those preferring the single action, cocked and locked carry, but who also want the other advantages of a double action pistol. One disadvantage of this system is that the multiple methods of carry can cause confusion and delay in shooting. Another disadvantage is that in order to carry in the hammer down position, the hammer must be lowered manually by pulling the trigger. Taurus will soon introduce a variation on this safety system, which will safely decock the pistol without touching the trigger. Like previous systems, the first shot is double action, and subsequent shots are single action when carried with the hammer down. When carried in the cocked and locked mode, the first and subsequent shots will all be single action. The Glock system. This system is available only on Glock pistols and is a variation on the double action only system. With only one method of carry and no manual safety or decock levers to manipulate, it is one of the simplest systems to operate. The trigger pull feels like a 2-stage military trigger, such as on the M1 Garand. All shots have the same trigger pull. The consistent and easily controlled trigger pull is a major advantage. This trim pistol without levers has a simple manual of arms. The disadvantages include no delay in firing in the case of a snatched pistol. Also, improper handling, such as a finger on the trigger while running, holstering, or covering a suspect, can easily lead to accidental discharge. The slide release is extremely small and can be difficult to operate with cold hands or gloves. Glock alone offers a variety of trigger pulls, ranging from a standard 5-pound to an 8-pound pull. These can be further modified by the installation of the New York trigger, which increases the weight of both the slack and release stages. The New York trigger option was disliked by our testers because it interfered with accuracy and slowed rapid-fire shooting. Double action only. This operating system is currently available on nearly the entire Smith & Wesson line, the Beretta 92 series, and on some Sig Sauers. It shares a simple manual of arms with the Glock. That is, when a round is chambered, pulling the trigger will discharge the gun without any manipulation of a safety or other device. The trigger pull is a long hammer-cocking double-action pull every time. All shots have the same trigger pull. The double action only offers the easiest transition for people trained to fire double action revolvers. There is theoretically less likelihood of accidental discharge from mishandling than with a Glock system because of the longer, more resistant trigger pull. The simple manual of arms creates a trim pistol with no external levers. The long, heavy trigger pull is a disadvantage in some models, although this varies widely from brand to brand. It can be difficult to master, and it may not be conducive to accurate shooting, particularly when shooting one-handed. This basic problem may effectively cancel out some of the practical accuracy advantages automatics offer over revolvers. The squeeze cocker. Technically, this is a single-action pistol, but its unique design is intended to compete with double-action pistols. This system is available only on the Heckler & Koch P7 series. 2 actions are required to shoot: depressing the squeeze cocker lever and then pulling the trigger. Subsequent shots require only pulling the trigger as long as the cocking lever remains depressed. The cocking lever also serves as a slide release, making this pistol totally ambidextrous. For the same reason, the pistol is extremely trim with no levers or other protuberance. The light, crisp, single-action trigger pull on every shot encourages practical accuracy. It is the only automatic pistol that automatically puts itself into a safe proprietary mode when it leaves the hand of the shooter. As such, it is a reasonably safe system for those in danger of having their gun snatched from a holster or wrestled from their grasp. Because of its light single-action trigger pull, it is particularly vulnerable to the danger of accidental discharges from mishandling. As with the Glock, one must use caution to keep the fingers away from the trigger when running, holstering, or covering a suspect. The squeeze cock system is markedly different from other operating safety systems. Those trained on revolvers and double-action automatics may find this system difficult to master. It is closest in handling to that of a conventional single-action automatic. There is more inherent noise in the operation of this pistol than the others evaluated. This is due to the crunching sound when the cocking lever is squeezed and the loud click when it's released. Other safety and operating systems. Throughout the years, some unique safety and operating systems have surfaced, such as a decocking lever and a safety on the same gun. These have been primarily found on double-action automatics of European origin. However, none of these systems have shown any overwhelming advantages over the 6 main systems we've already covered. Evaluating desirable characteristics. Some characteristics, such as reliability and durability, are absolutely essential. The more reliable and durable a weapon is, the better. However, other characteristics often must be compromises. In order to choose the weapon that best suits your overall needs, you must first assess your needs in 10 critical areas. Weight. The lighter a pistol is, the easier it is to carry. However, there is a price to pay in increased recoil as the pistol gets lighter, if other factors remain equal. At some point, recoil will be severe enough to hinder shot recovery and become an undesirable side effect. But in general, the lighter the pistol, the better. Accuracy. The more accurate a pistol is, the better. However, accuracy is many times a function of tight tolerances in parts fit. In a production pistol, such tight tolerances can lead to a lower level of reliability in adverse or dirty conditions. Reliability always takes precedence over accuracy. The expected operating conditions are a major factor to be considered. Most civilians and police departments do not face the same adverse operating conditions encountered in the military. Consequently, they can have a tighter and more accurate gun without a drop in reliability. What would you consider to be accurate enough? A pistol that will group in 4 inches at 25 yards handheld is accurate enough to get a solid torso hit every time at 50 yards. It will also hit a man-sized silhouette at 100 yards most of the time. That is what we consider to be accurate enough. Virtually all of the pistols from the major manufacturers easily achieve this level of accuracy. Corrosion resistance. Many otherwise fine pistols are not made from rust-resistant materials, such as stainless steel, aluminum, polymers, or titanium. In some such cases, rust-resistant finishes can suffice. When such finishes are applied aftermarket, they can add $100 to $200 to the price of the gun. In some environments, corrosion resistance is not a big issue, but in others, it is critical. Magazine capacity. A higher magazine capacity never hurts unless the weight or bulk of the pistol becomes excessive. In many defensive situations, a higher magazine capacity can be critical to survival. A large magazine capacity enables the shooter to supply covering fire or suppressive fire for a longer period without reloading. The fast reloading capability of most automatics is a major advantage over revolvers. This also cuts down on the necessity of large capacity magazines to some extent. Concealability. Concealability is a result of a combination of factors: pistol height, length, weight, and thickness. Most civilians, many law enforcement officers, and some military personnel need to carry their pistols concealed. Obviously, things such as an increase in caliber, magazine capacity, etc., can have an adverse effect on concealability. Those factors become a trade-off where concealability is important. Availability of compact versions. Law enforcement agencies often have a requirement for a duty pistol for uniformed officers as well as a concealable pistol for detectives. In addition, it is desirable that off-duty police carry a pistol that is the same or similar to what they carry when on duty. Some of the pistols discussed have no compact version available that is suitable for these purposes. This factor should be considered early in the pistol selection process. Some pistols are so compact and some compact versions are so capable that some agencies have acquired one pistol for both uniform duty and concealed use. This may be the most practical approach of all. The Heckler & Koch P7, the Glock Model 19, and the Smith & Wesson Model 6906 are 3 examples of such dual-purpose guns. Trigger reach and grip size. Individuals with small hands can have a real problem with double-action automatics. By their very nature, double actions require a longer trigger reach than single-action automatics. The differences between models are substantial. When the trigger reach is excessive for an individual, it adversely affects the pistol's zero, the speed of taking the first shot, practical accuracy, and the shooter's confidence. Trigger reach and grip size is a major and often overlooked consideration for those with small hands. A large hand can adjust to a small gun grip by use of adapters. However, the large gun grip cannot be adjusted to the small hand. Agencies that hire people of small stature must consider trigger reach and grip size as an important characteristic before buying any firearm. Recoil. Recoil perception is partly the result of the weight of a gun. It is also a result of the momentum of the load fired, the shape of the grip, the location of the bore to the grip, and several other factors. Consequently, guns that have the bore line down low to the grip often have lower perceived recoil than heavier guns with the barrel well above the grip. The lower the perceived recoil, the faster the shot recovery. There is also less tendency to flinch and spoil accuracy. The heavier the perceived recoil, the more training is required to manage it. With proper training, most recoil problems can become manageable. However, Some people never learn to handle the heavier kicking autos, like a compact 45 with plus P loads, or a mid-size 10mm with full power loads. Simplicity and ease of maintenance. In general, the automatics with fewer parts are easier to maintain. All of the guns evaluated are easy to field strip for cleaning and routine maintenance. However, detail stripping of some models requires special tools and training. Others may be detail stripped easily without special tools and only a minimum of training. Civilians living a long way from gunsmithing support and agencies that maintain their own guns should consider these factors. Costs. Some pistols cost well over $1,000. However, it's possible to obtain an entirely serviceable model for approximately 1/3 this amount. It's important to realize that price is more often a result of the international monetary exchange rate than it is an indicator of quality or desirability. "9mm pistols. The first group of pistols examined will be the 9mm group. The judgments as to such things as reliability and durability have been made from police agency tests, military tests, and data from reliable observers. Similarly, opinions as to grip feel and such are taken from the consensus of a fairly large group of observers. The Beretta 92 series. This is one of the biggest and bulkiest of all 9mm evaluated. The compact model is larger and heavier than some other makers' full-size models. The Beretta 92 series pistols are available with the slide-mounted hammer drop safety, a decocking lever, or as double-action only automatics. Based on U.S. Army and police agency tests, the Beretta 92 series is one of the more reliable automatic pistols. It operates well under extreme environments involving mud, sand, rain, and other adverse conditions. The Beretta grip is large, and trigger reach is excessive for individuals with small hands. The grip is comfortable for medium and large hands and points well for instinctive shooting. A stainless steel model is now available. Glock models 17 and 19. These guns are the lightest and simplest of all the pistols examined. They have only 34 parts compared to 70 or more found in some other guns. The Glock can be detail stripped with only a pin punch. During testing, the Glocks have proven to be extremely durable. It seems that the only part that breaks occasionally is the trigger spring, which can be replaced quickly and easily. The perceived recoil of these pistols is low, as is the muzzle jump. The Glock 17 has the highest magazine capacity of all the 9mm automatics. The standard magazine holds 17 rounds, and the +2 magazine holds 19 rounds. The compact Glock 19 holds only 2 rounds less. As such, it still has a higher magazine capacity than most full-size 9mm. The Glock 19 is suitable for dual use as a uniform and concealment gun. Polymer parts and a special finish make this gun extremely corrosion resistant. The trigger reach is the shortest of the guns examined, and it can be easily handled by people with small hands. Full or partially full magazines do not always eject freely from the gun when the magazine catch is depressed. This feature is by design and is considered desirable in some European military and police circles. Unfortunately, sometimes empty magazines do not eject freely in some guns. The consistent single-action type trigger pull gives the Glock one of the highest levels of practical accuracy. Because mishandling can easily cause accidental discharge, shooters should be trained thoroughly to become familiar with the Glock's peculiarities. When this is done, statistics compiled by police agencies using Glocks indicate that they've encountered fewer accidental discharges than with revolvers. Heckler & Koch P7M8 and P7M13. The Heckler & Koch pistols are the most expensive of the pistols examined. Fixed barrels make these H&Ks the most accurate of the 9mm pistols on average. The Heckler & Koch has the highest level of practical accuracy as well, due to a crisp single-action type pull for each shot. At 13+1, the M13 has the lowest magazine capacity of all of the full-size double-stack 9mm. The grip circumference of the M13 is excessively large. Even so, these guns are second only to Glock in shortness of trigger reach. Both models are extremely flat and compact for easy concealability. This is particularly true of the M8 version. Because of handling peculiarities, it is imperative that shooters be given adequate training to prevent accidental discharges. Ruger P85. The least expensive of the pistols examined, the Ruger P85, is available in blued or stainless steel. This gun is now available in decocking and slide-mounted safety versions and will soon be available in double action only. A compact version is not yet available. The Ruger P85 is second only to Beretta in weight and bulk. The grip circumference is considerable, and the trigger reach is even longer. Therefore, this pistol would not be suited for those with small hands. According to U.S. military and other tests, this is an extremely reliable and durable gun. The Ruger's double-action trigger pull is among the heaviest of the guns examined. The P85 grip was found to be the least comfortable of all the guns examined. Sig Sauer P226 and P228. These pistols are available in both a decocking lever model and double action only. According to U.S. Army tests, the Sig Sauers are extremely durable and reliable. The P228 makes a good dual-purpose gun for uniformed and concealed carry. The trigger reach on these guns is usually manageable by people with small hands, if the optional short trigger is installed. The trigger pull is smooth and light. Subjectively speaking, the Sig Sauers have the best feeling grips of all of the guns examined. Smith & Wesson 3900, 5900, and 6900 series. Smith & Wesson offers the widest selection of configurations. These include full-size pistols with either single or double column magazines, compact pistols with single or double column magazines, all stainless steel variations, and lighter weight aluminum framed models with stainless steel or blued steel slide groups. The Smith & Wesson pistols are available in hammer drop safety, decock lever, and double action only models. These new third-generation pistols are both durable and reliable. The double action trigger pulls are universally smooth and reasonably light. The Smith & Wesson double action only guns are distinct from the double action only models offered by other manufacturers. In most cases, the other manufacturers simply removed the single action position from their pistol's hammer. Consequently, every trigger pull is just as long and hard as the first shot on their more conventional offerings. Smith & Wesson has designed their double action only so that the gun is partially cocked when being loaded. The result is a much shorter double action trigger pull than its competition. This shorter trigger reach allows people with small hands to easily handle even the staggered magazine models. 3900 series consist of full-size and compact guns with a single column magazine. The 5900 series is a full-size large capacity magazine model. It has a grip that is almost as compact and comfortable as the single column 3900 series. The 6900 series is a compact version of the 5900 series. The 6906 makes a good dual-purpose gun for combined uniformed or concealed carry. The 5900 and 6900 series grip circumferences and trigger reaches are significantly smaller than Beretta and Ruger and about the same as the Sig Sauer P226. Therefore, the Smith & Wessons are marginal for use by those with small hands. The 3900 series is the exception and is suitable for small-handed persons, as are all of the double-action only models. Springfield Armory P9. This gun is one of the best clones on the market of the highly regarded Czech CZ75. It features all steel construction, but does not come in a stainless steel or lightweight model. The Springfield Armory P9 is available in a compact version. The P9 is only available with a frame-mounted safety that may be engaged with the hammer down or cocked. Because the hammer can only be lowered by pulling the trigger, extra care must be taken to prevent accidental discharges. The grip is very comfortable in most hands. The trigger reach is too great for many people with small hands, even though the grip circumference is not excessive. Anyone with short thumbs will have trouble reaching the safety. This gun has proven to be reliable and durable based on extensive shooting and competition. Taurus, PT92 and 99 series. This gun has the same basic design as the Beretta M92 series. The difference is that the Taurus is only available with the frame-mounted safety that locks the hammer in either a cocked or hammer down position. Until Taurus feels its safety variation that safely decocks the pistol, the only way to lower the hammer is by pulling the trigger. This requires extra care to avoid an accidental discharge. A compact version is available, but it is larger than some full-sized guns. Taurus offers both stainless steel and plated versions. The Taurus PT92 series is generally found to be equal to the Beretta 92 in accuracy, fit, durability, and reliability. All observations as to the grip size, trigger reach, etc. are the same as the Beretta 92. With good fit, finish, and durability, the Taurus series offers a low-cost alternative to some of the more expensive firearms. A look at the individual 40 S&W chambered pistols. The next group of pistols examined is the 40 Smith & Wesson chambered pistols. The Glock 22 and 23. These guns are externally identical to the Glock 17 and 19 respectively. Therefore, observations made of the Glock 17 and 19 also apply to the Glock 22 and 23, except for the magazine capacity and chambering. The magazine capacities of the Model 22 and 23 are 13 rounds and 15 rounds respectively, with +2 magazines available for both guns. As such, the Glocks have the highest magazine capacities of all the 40 S&W pistols currently available. In fact, they equal or exceed the capacities of most 9mm high-capacity pistols. The recoil of the 40 S&W version is noticeably sharper than with the Glock 9mm. However, it's not uncomfortable or uncontrollable. Heckler & Koch P7 40 Smith & Wesson. This gun is currently in the development stage. It will be externally similar to the P7 series pistols. Therefore, all observations for the P7 9mm will be applicable except for magazine capacity and chambering. Recoil is expected to be moderate. Ruger P85 40 Smith & Wesson. This gun will soon be in production and will be externally similar to the P85 9mm. All observations about the P85 9mm apply except for the magazine capacity and chambering. Smith & Wesson 4006 40 S&W. This gun is externally similar to the Smith & Wesson 5906. All of the observations made about the 5900 series apply except for the magazine capacity and chambering. The magazine capacity is 11 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. This is only 2 more rounds in the similar sized S&W 1076 10mm. There is no compact version available yet. However, there is one in development. The recoil of the 4006 40 S&W is moderate and easily controlled. Tests indicate that this pistol will have a long service life with superior reliability. The Springfield Armory 40 S&W. This pistol is virtually identical externally to the P9 9mm except for the chambering. All other observations for the P9 9mm apply except for the magazine capacity, which is 11 rounds. It is not yet known if a compact version will be available. Taurus 40 Smith & Wesson. Taurus hit the market with the first genuinely reliable 41 Action Express pistol last year. It was based on the PT-92AF 9mm pistol. The new 40 S&W Taurus is expected to be the same basic gun in the 40 S&W chambering. The observations made of the Taurus PT-92AF all apply except for magazine capacity and chambering. This gun will be available in stainless steel. It is unknown if a compact version will be available. A look at the 10mm chambered pistols. The third group of pistols examined is the 10mm chambered pistols. Colt Double Eagle 10mm. This pistol closely resembles the classic Colt government model on which it was based. The Colt Double Eagle 10mm is available in stainless steel and only with a decocking lever. No compact version is available. The trigger reach on this pistol is excessive for small hands. The feel of the grip is such that the 3 fingers on the front strap feel cramped and somewhat uncomfortable. The trigger has the tendency to pinch the finger of some people when firing double action. The grips hold key parts onto the pistol frame. This creates the possibility that the gun may become inoperable should a grip break. Extreme care should be taken when the grips are removed for cleaning or maintenance. The magazine capacity of the Colt Double Eagle 10mm is 8 rounds. The gun's recoil is stout with full loads and moderate with the 10mm light loads. Extensive shooting with heavy 10mm loads causes some slide battering and eventual failure of the recoil spring guide system. These parts should be closely monitored. The Glock 20 10mm. This handgun has the only staggered 10mm magazine currently in production. The magazine capacity is an impressive 15 rounds. 1 in the chamber and a +2 magazine gives it an 18-round capacity. There is no compact version of this gun. The Glock 20 is very similar to the Glock 17, with many parts interchangeable. It is noticeably thicker in the slide, slightly longer, and about 6 ounces heavier. It is the lightest 10mm automatic on the market. Most of the observations made about the Glock 17 apply, except that the grip of the Glock 20 is enough larger to cause problems for people with small hands. The gun's recoil with full 10mm loads is comfortable, and muzzle flip is only moderate. This pistol offers extreme power, a high magazine capacity, and a double-action type trigger, all in a moderately sized and weighted piece. Durability and reliability are expected to be comparable to the Glock 9mm. The Smith & Wesson 1000 series. The There are two Smith & Wesson 10mm models, the full-size model and a 3/4 inch shorter version. Both models are expected to be available in double action only, decocking lever, or slide-mounted hammer drop safety versions. All are made of stainless steel. The magazine capacity for both guns is 9 rounds. The grip is comfortable and moderately sized. Almost everyone can manage a comfortable hold and easily reach the trigger. Although the 1076 is not exactly a compact pistol, it is flat enough to be carried in a concealed manner. Fully adjustable sights are available as an option on the 1006. Novak fixed sights are available on all models as standard. Recoil is comfortable when shooting full power loads, but muzzle flip is significant enough to slow down shock recovery. 10mm light loads, as used by the FBI, offer an easily controlled recoil. Factory testing indicates a good service life with excellent reliability. A look at the individual 45 ACP chambered pistols. The final group of pistols examined is the 45 ACP chambered pistols. The Colt Double Eagle 45. This pistol is externally identical to the Colt Double Eagle 10mm. Therefore, all observations of that gun apply except for the chambering. The 45 ACP chambering offers greater long-term durability because of its far more moderate pressures. A compact version, the Officer's ACP Double Eagle Mark II, is available. The Glock 21. This pistol is externally similar to the Glock 20 10mm. All observations of that gun apply except for the chambering and magazine capacity. The magazine capacity is lowered to 13 in the standard magazine, and it is unknown if a +2 magazine will be available. This pistol should appeal to those who want power and magazine capacity without the recoil of the full 10mm. The Glock easily handles the hot Remington 45 ACP +P load. Recoil with such loads approaches 10mm full load levels. Sig Sauer P220A 45 ACP. This pistol is approximately the same size as the Sig Sauer P226 with a single column 8-round magazine instead of the staggered 9mm magazine. The model P220A 45 ACP is available in decocker version only. There is no compact or stainless steel version available. With its aluminum frame, the P220A is considerably lighter than its all-steel counterparts. The grip is moderate in size, and the trigger reach is short enough that most people with small hands can handle it. The P220A is well known for its reliability, durability, and accuracy. Smith & Wesson 4500 series. Smith & Wesson offers 45 ACP pistols in 3 sizes. The full-sized model and a version that is 3/4 of an inch shorter. The compact size is another ½ inch shorter and shorter in the butt as well. All models are made in stainless steel only. These pistols are expected to be available in decocker, double action only, and hammer drop safety versions. The 4506 and 4576 are externally similar to the Smith & Wesson 1006 and 1076 10mm models. All characteristics of the guns are the same except for chambering and magazine capacity. The small 4516 is quite concealable and easy to handle. Like all third-generation Smith & Wessons, the 45s have an extremely smooth and reasonably light double-action trigger pull. The ergonomics of the 4500 series is excellent, and the recoil is much more comfortable than the classic Colt government model 45. Smith & Wesson re-engineered their 4500 series to handle the high-pressure 10mm cartridge. They increased the weight of the slide and made other improvements to give the gun greater durability under the battering of the hot 10mm loads. To simplify production and improve the 4500 series, these same modifications were applied to the 45 automatics. Therefore, the pistols in the Smith & Wesson 4500 series are expected to be both reliable and durable. Conclusion. Before you purchase any firearm, it is a good idea to list all of the features you need. Then make a careful, hands-on comparison of the various models which you believe to best suit those needs. Every effort has been made to be up to date in the information presented in this video. However, the world of handguns is a turbulent one. There are new models being introduced and old models being updated on a continual basis. Some shortcomings we have mentioned may have been corrected by the time you see this. New options may also be available. We sincerely hope that this tape has been of service in your quest for a double-action automatic. Take it from us, the quest can be nearly as much fun as the procurement.